What's up, Tesla family? It's Ray J back with another video. And in this one, I want to give you guys a quick update on the markets. Let me first mention that I am not a financial planner. Make sure you take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button. It not only benefits me, it benefits the entire community as a whole. Anyways, for Tesla, we had this very interesting pattern where we love to kind of pump in the mornings, then dump right before close, where this happened 3 days in a row. And then for today, we saw Tesla start to rebalance, trying to push as the day went on. And so far, we actually haven't gotten much of a rejection. If anything, it's worth noting that we do have tough resistance in this 200 area and also at 202, seeing how Tesla's rejected multiple times at that level. But so far, Tesla's making an attempt to hold up and it's doing a good job. So the question is, are we going to reject here or not? This is going to depend on a lot of different factors. Now, I just want to mention that right now we have Barkin from the Fed giving a speech, and they said some things that caused a little dip in the markets, only for the market to get bought back up. What he said was that the case for lowering in July, so lowering rates, becoming a lot more more like dovish and kind of like easing on policy, it would have been either absolute conviction that the labor market was on the precipice, or if you had thought that you had inflation under control. So he said it did not really make sense to do that. No emergency cuts made sense in his opinion. He also mentioned that it made more sense to take the time and see what we learn over the next 7 weeks before getting any kind of cuts out there. So that's what Barkin's opinion has been. He's saying the Fed is better off being a little bit more hawkish and just waiting on things and not doing any emergency cuts or anything like that. And I agree, it does make a lot of sense. I mean, we have to see what CPI is going to look like, which is next week and such. So what's happening with Tesla right now? We have this $200 resistance. Haven't been able to break through that, but we're seeing buyers defending it very close to about 195 and also at 198. So it's just going back and forth right now. So we're testing this tough resistance. We'll have to see if we get a rejection or not. Just note that we rejected right here off this trend line at 207. Then we got a rejection off 203. Now we're fighting this 200 area. It's possible that Tesla does come back down, but you're going to be watching to see 198. If we close below this or even hold below this, there is a risk of 195 coming. So you want to be very careful at Tesla to see if we can break 200 or not. If we fail to do so, I think it might retrace to 195. There's no confirmation yet. We're just waiting to see if we could break 200. And we're at some tough resistance. We're just shuffling right now. So we're just waiting to see which way we break. I'm being very patient right now. Same thing with SPY. SPY pushed. Remember the trend. We pushed on Monday, then dumped end of day. Same thing. We pushed and dumped on Tuesday, pushed and dumped on Wednesday. Today we pushed. So are we about to get a dump? Honestly, guys, it's tough to call. It does look very possible because look at the level we are currently at, right? This area up here, 530 to 531 is tough resistance. SPY got big rejections off here multiple times. Okay, it happened many times in the past. So are we about to get a rejection here? It's possible. It hasn't happened yet, so I'm going to be watching this very pivotal level for the time being. I'll be watching to see if we break through the 531s and turn bullish, or if we get a rejection. We're just at resistance right now. So we'll wait and see. If we end up losing 528s tomorrow, then there's going to be a risk of us tipping back down to 525 and then eventually 522. So we'll see. But we're just fighting resistance, so we have to be very patient and wait and see what kind of move we get. For Nvda, it's the same thing. We've been trying to rebound, but we're testing resistance around this 105 area. If we get that rejection, we could be dipping all the way down towards 102. And if we try to shuffle around this 105 zone, if we break through the 105s, we're going back up to 108. So watch this shuffling that's going on at 105 and see if we get a rejection. I'll be watching that very carefully. For Bitcoin's on a very nice looking uptrend. We're approaching the 60,000 area. So far, it's doing a good job. If we reject off 60,000, we'll be dipping back down towards 58,000. If we break through this, we could actually fill this imbalance. So it's looking a little bit more bullish if we break 60,000. Bitcoin's still favoring upside, which could be a good sign for the markets. And then we have the QQQ. It's the same thing as SPY. We push to our resistance, and we have to just watch. Do we break 448 and start pushing into the 450s? Or do we reject over here? Right? We'll just have to wait and see. The last 3 days, excuse me, it's the same thing. We pumped in the mornings, then dumped, pumped in the morning, then dumped, pumped in the morning, then dumped. We're pumping so far, but watch and see if we get that dump. I'm going to be waiting for this going into tomorrow. We're at some very tough resistance. There is a risk of that happening because the last time we were here, it did happen. But watch your level just for confirmation, because with this market, you never know. There's a lot of manipulation out there. So keep that in your guys' memories. Then we also have Aapl testing resistance. We're at the same resistance right here around this 214 area. I called upside for Aapl, but watch and see, do we get this rejection? We could be forming a bullish wedge, so this favors upside. So break 214, this thing will easily start pushing up for 216 and eventually the gap fill for 218 plus. So it looks a little bit more bullish. This is favoring upside, so we'll just have to see if that ends up being the case. For super micro, we're kind of rejecting right here, not holding up as well as we were earlier because we had weak earnings and it's not making the best of moves for a recovery. Watch this 507 area. If we close below this, we might be dipping back down towards the 490 zone. If we hold this, we could try to rebound. So we'll just have to give this some time and we'll see how it goes. Just know the market has a lot of manipulation at the very, very end of the day. IWM went up to a 207, the exact level we called out. If this holds, if we manage to hold above it, I'd be looking at these highs up here towards like 209. Break that, we turn bullish. If it rejects here, I'll be looking for a 205 as key support. It looks to me like it's going to dip towards 205, and we'll see if it bounces or not. But just look for a little dip on the IWM. For Coinbase, we did a great job at breaking out, up 7%. But look at support at 191. If we hold this going into tomorrow, we could continue higher for 197. If not, we're going to dip. So I do see a test of 191 coming. I think it might retrace just a little bit, and we'll see if we bounce or not. Amazon's just barely at resistance, just like SPY. We're just at this 166 resistance. We have our key support 164. We'll have to see. If we lose the 164s, we could come down to fill this gap at 161. If not, we're just shuffling right now. We're stuck between this range. We're at resistance, so just give this some time. Meta got a nice breakout. Look at this 510 area as our resistance. If that breaks, we could be forming a nice breakout here. This could be forming kind of like a cup and handle, and that could take us all the way into like the 520s. If we do break the 510s, and if we reject off the same resistance, we're coming back down to 497. Honestly, guys, I'm not really a fortune teller. It depends on what kind of reaction we get here. So I'm just waiting as we're at resistance on Meta. Microsoft is holding up decently. It's just shuffling. Look at this. It's just been going back and forth between 402 and 405. It's still holding 402, so that's a good sign that it might try to push back up to 405 plus. And then Google, we pushed to resistance on 165. I did warn you guys that this is tough resistance. If this does reject, we'll be dipping back down to 162. So we'll just have to see how it goes. There is a risk of that, but I just want to note that the market is just at tough resistance. We're holding up decently, so we have to just give this some time. So for Tesla, we're shuffling near 200. Could we break 200 and push up to 202, then 205, 207, high levels like that? Or are we about to reject off 200? We just have to wait and see. I see a potential wedge that could be forming on Tesla. It's possible we get a breakout thanks to this. So we have some potential for upside, in my opinion. But like I said before, Fridays are full of manipulation, and we haven't officially broken 200 yet to get a confirmation breakout. So for now, Tesla is still fighting resistance. It has potential though, so I'm just going to keep it at that. Anyways, that's it for the video. Thank you all so much for listening. I'll see you guys very soon, and peace out.